Hi, Jordan Capelliella. I'm from the Ahupua of Kahalu'u. So, Kalo, beginning of Kalo. So, Native Hawaiians have a traditional mo'olelo, you could say, or story on where our ancestral Kalo come from. So, Kalo to Native Hawaiians is the older brother of man of Hawaiians. So, Wakia Kekane, Sky Father, and Earth Mother. So, what it is him and his daughter had a child, and this child was stillborn. They named this child Halo Nakala Kapilili. This stillborn, when this stillborn came out,
I just take it with me.
Ho Kukalani,
And then I take it with me when I go chicken.
what she did was she took that plant, right? So depending where you are in the Pacific, you know, some people call it talo. There's other names. Some people call it taro, but Hawaiians we call it kalo. It's just our version of how we say the plant. Yeah. So there's a lot of different heirloom varieties out there, all across Asia. Even in Egypt, there's kalo, very old kalo that was grown in Egypt. So it's not just our plant. We have a different connection to it than some other cultures, but there's all kinds of different cultures out there who have taro or kalo. You know, the Japanese, the Chinese, Filipinos, a lot of Asians, Pacific, and Africans tend to have all these different varieties. So Hawaiians today, we have a little bit over 80 varieties that are known within our research, I would say, on paper. But there's actually more varieties that we have that we know of, but it's all passed down from kupuna to us. So, for example, like the bulletin, the UH bulletin and the Bishop Museum bulletin, those ones, a lot of those varieties today still exist, some of them. So some kalo varieties have been lost or they're missing. They might be in the wild. We just gotta go and find them. Or what it really is when it is ready, it comes out. It sees us. So we call that Nalo Vale, where it's missing, but it's not necessarily gone forever, where we can still potentially have it again. But the mindset of the Kanaka needs to change nowadays, where we're so focused on making money, you know, kala, that's what we call money, that it takes our minds off of taking care of our genetic, and I mean genetic, you can trace through mo'okuauhau or genealogy that we are related to the kalo plants. Not just, oh, somebody grew it, that's it. But there's, I've seen maybe like 7 different lines that can relate back to the kalo plant as being physically related, not just spiritually. Depends who you talk to. Some people will say otherwise. More so halo translates, so they say like halo is like having longer breath, yeah, because when we eat our ancestor halo, we gain longer life by eating halo. Ha is like the breath of life, right? Loa means long, so it's long breath, you know, for example. But the word loa is used a lot in different kalo varieties too. There's a Lau Loa family, for example, and you can see the kalo leaves, they're long. So there's a lot of meaning behind every single detail. Every single kalo variety has a name for specific reasons. And more than once, there's been kalo variety names that have multiple reasons on why it's named that, not just one reason. For example, mana ulu, you know, the color of the i'o, the corn, on the inside it's yellow. When you take the ulu plant, the breadfruit, and you cut it open, it's yellow. So they call it mana ulu. Mana is another family of kalo varieties. Mana, so they refer to mana like your hand, the fingers on your hand, because the kalo corn has two huli that stick out of it, two hogs that come out of it, and it's almost like Siamese twins, almost like that. But they refer to mana as in your hand, like mana or mana lima, your fingers. So it's like fingers coming off the hand. So there's different reasons why these kalo varieties are named. And there's different mo'olelos behind it. And understanding the name and the mo'olelo behind it is super important. That's the kind of information that we should be holding on to. This information is crucial, not just for growing kalo, but also for us to grow as human beings, as kana. So different kalo varieties have different purpose too. Some varieties were only meant for the ali'i. So a lot of your lehua varieties that make the red poi. And the red poi is very symbolizing. You know, the color red and gold and yellow are very ali'i significant colors. So some varieties of kalo are actually kapu or forbidden for certain people to be eating or consuming. Some varieties, like some of your manini varieties, some of them were used as bait for fish. Some of them were used as offerings to appease your nini. So there's different uses for each kalo variety, and to other people across the world too, there's different meanings behind each variety. Hawaiians will have different varieties than Samoans, Tongans, Fijians, Tahitians, people from Africa, Japanese, Chinese. Different kalo varieties. Like one of them that the Japanese do is like the araimo, for example. They use that for their nishime. Zuiki, that's a variety that you can use to eat the leaves. And the leaves, you can eat it raw. Most of your kalo, you do not want to eat raw, because the Calocasia esculenta, which is our varieties of kalo, have this particle on it and inside of it called calcium oxalate crystals, and it's very itchy for your throat. If you try to eat it raw, you can go to the hospital. Some of the nutrition values of kalo, believe it or not, kalo actually has protein in it. It has more protein than potatoes. So that's why it's actually a really good starch. It's not just starch, there's a lot of good nutrients. A lot of the nutrients you'll see that gets taken up, we actually get from the stream in our lo'is. So a lot of your good microbes, you're actually gonna eat the microbes. So it's not just the nutrients where it's like, NPK, or for us, our macronutrients, like protein and your starches and whatnot. The microbes is what's really important. Think of kalo and making poi, for example. How Koreans make kimchi, or it's actually fermented. So going back to the lehua kalo, for example, the red kalo. When you actually kui it, when you make poi, you take it off your board and you make poi, you'll notice it's actually more of a purple color, or maybe like a pink. It only turns red when you let it poha, or when it ferments. Because when it ferments, that's when the color changes. Because Native Hawaiians traditionally did not eat kalo that was turned into poi, which was fresh. They call that poi keo keo. Hawaiians did not eat fresh poi.
Sorry, is that your card?
The main thing about kalo, when you turn it into poi especially, is the fermentation process. Fermentation process to make the poi is really the medicinal part of this. So there's poi that you let poha, let it rise, let it ferment. That has all the beneficial microbes in it. So those beneficial microbes are good to ingest because they help your body. You know, we have to replenish our natural microbes in our bodies. So by eating the traditional medicinal recipe for poi, you are actually correcting ailments in your body by eating it. So it's not just about getting your nutrition, like your starch, your protein and whatnot. You're also really getting a medicine every day you eat it. It helps promote your gut health, helps you digest better, helps you with bloating, helps you with all kinds of different ailments that people today actually take pills for. And by eating these traditional foods, that's why the term or the name halo, that's why you live longer, right? Longer breath, is because by eating this ancestral medicine food, you actually help your biomass take better care of itself by giving it the right microbes and nutrients together. Because our body naturally has the microbes, but by giving our body more microbes and the nutrients together is just equivalent as giving plants nutrients and the microbes in the soil. They grow better. If you were to just give like fertilizer to it without the microbes, the plants might do okay, but they'll never get to its full potential. They'll never truly get. Same thing with us by eating these microbes. So